And the rain's melting it like I thought. Yeah, it melted the snow. There was snow on there too. I told you eventually it's going to rain, snow again. That it was going to snow, then be rainy, then back to snow again. That's a week. Many times, and it's probably windy out there. It looks like it. Yep, it's raining. It's raining cats and dogs. Someone on TikTok typed that in, and at the artificial intelligence AI thing, and it has a picture of, no, it has a video of cats and dogs coming out, and there's rain on the ground, and people running. Oh, I get it. It's raining cats and dogs, and dogs and cats are coming out of the air, dropping out of the air. Now, in real life, there were frogs coming out of the air everywhere, and what happened, a tornado picked up some frogs, or a hurricane, and then dropped it over by a golf course. People have had fish come out of the sky the same way. Lucky no cow or anything falls out of the sky, even though they get picked up by a hurricane or tornado. A baby did one time, but it landed in a tree and it was all right. That's God's divine. It kept it safe. Craig Petty came up with a genius idea. Cards and cube combination. I like that idea. See, I can cut the cards anywhere I want, and say someone picks this card, and I'll lay it over here, and I won't even look at it, and I'll put these cards over here, and I'll go like this. There's nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, nothing anywhere, nothing anywhere. And if I did this right, the color of the sun is now white because it's God's timetable, but now, as Pastor Cole says, and Pastor Astor and all the preachers agree that it used to be yellow. And not only that, your card is yellow, like the color of butter, and the color of the sun it used to be. And If someone wants this card, no problem. And it'll say, can you guess what color it is? Well, let's see. Most of the time, the sky is this color. The sky is blue. Yep. Hey, how'd you do that? I'm gonna solve this so it doesn't mess up. See, that's your color white. And here's the color yellow, the color of the sun. See, the color of the sun is there. And if someone picked the color white, I would know that was the color they picked because I guessed the bottom card. It's white. It matches perfectly. And then all I gotta do is give my little way of getting it back to all solved. Thanks, Craig Petty, for coming up with that idea with Jesus' help to use Uno cards without numbers and get a guy to make it. Get Kev G and Colin Collins on there, and another guy that does card tricks without Rubik's Cubes, and another guy I can't think of. But anyway, Kev G and Colin Collins teach their 4-4-6 mix and a 4-4-6 stack and some other routines. But no offense to anyone, I just wish they would have taught the Decepticon too, because that'd be the icing on the cake, cherry on the top. Because not only that, because the Decepticon, 3 people can pick a color, and by the 3rd time the cube is solved, you can show it all solved. What's neat about Decepticon, watching videos, by Kev D and Colin Collins and some others, the color someone picks, a white, they would solve it, and then they ask someone to pick another color. And when they solve it, they show that the color the other person picked, it's mixed, and they can show it mixed. And then the next person picks a color, and then that gets solved. But then that color's mixed, and all the other colors are mixed. And on the 3rd time, say they pick blue, all of a sudden that color is solved, and then they show on the 3rd time, all the cube is solved. I just wish I had that Decepticon. It'd be pattern. It'd be the icing on the cake, cherry on the top. See, Stephen Brundage sent a cube with a website and a password. Crazy Sam Solve, sponsored by Henry Harris, sent a cube with a website and password. Craig Petty sent the cards. You just provide the cube, came in a website and a password. But nothing against Kev G and Colin Collins. Even though they go to 6 volumes, they don't come with a cube, they don't come with cards or anything. Because if they did, they could do the same thing, a website and a password, and then I'd be good to go. But you pay for it, and they send it through an email with a website and password. And we didn't grow up like that. And Bob Schofield didn't either. He orders these for me. He always titles it, "Please Rush." After he puts it in there, he says, "Please rush." And then on Sunday, Sunday morning, after church, or Sunday night, he'll go in his back of his car trunk and show me that it came, or reach behind the back of his seat and say, oh, look what came in the mail. Oh, it's Craig Biddy, Kid Beauty 2 with the website and password. Now, if Kibd and Common Cause would do that, at least they should have came out with a cube, because then they could send it by solid mail, and then I would get the cube, and I get the website and a password per volume 1 that teaches the Decepticon. But anyway, Bob doesn't go through email with a website and password. It's got to go through a solid mailman or an UPS. Without that, he doesn't do that. He's not used to that. So I'm out of luck out of the whole thing. I know they keep talking they're coming out with a book. If they do, I hope they put Decepticon in there, because then it's something solid they can send through regular solid mail through the mailbox. If it can't come through a mailbox at your house, then Bob can't do it, because he never grew up the way this generation is. And I just wish Kibd and Common Cause would think about those factors, that there's some people that grew up one way and the new generation grew up another way. It's like my nephew William said, oh, there's always been video cameras on top of the traffic lights. I said, no, they haven't. If you look back in history, there were no surveillance 360 cameras anywhere, or steady cameras. There was just traffic lights, and they were yellow colored. Now they're either painted gray or painted black, and to bring out the colors more, when the sun is now bright white instead of yellow, it's a tense white, so they have to paint it black. And Bob said someone is in illusion magic tricks, because the black art principle to bring out other colors. That put black and put the bright colors in front, makes the colors brighter. And they took out the regular bulb that's in there and put an LED light and traffic lights. And then some are like a mixture of yellow and black lines or whatever. Anyway, it makes the colors stand out either way. And there's a lot that's changed over the years. And William even asked, and my nephew William, and my niece Bobby, they said, what's a record player? What's an 8-track? So, and it's like when I mentioned round ball bearings for skateboards, and they said, no, Bill, they're flat. Then he showed me on YouTube they're flat, and plus a Google Images. Well, I didn't know that. Okay, they do make them flat. Then I show him, I type in round ball bearing. He said, what do you know? They did make round ball bearings. Yes, William, now you know. See, you gotta double check everything, because when you're used to one way, it wasn't that way before. It's like, did you know that peanut butter had bacon in it? Bacon and peanut butter in jars? Yep. And Pepsi came in glasses. You know those bottle shapes? It's plastic. Everything is plastic. But back in the day, it was made out of glass. And it said no deposit, no return. And you could go up to the Teenage Giant, that's now Get-Go, and you could get money for it. And then you get the money, you can buy bubble gum or whatever. And my dad Marcel said, well, you're there to get a newspaper. And usually that means he's thinking about for us to go to the movies. Sometimes when I pull it out, I end up doing like a double left-handed deck of cards. I go, whoops, and I lay it on top, because I'm not going to steal an extra one. I'm not that way. I'm a born-again Christian. I don't do that. It's like when my mom wanted Cigarette 100 cigarettes, Said, well, Bill, you're at the age that I don't have to write it. Well, just write it because let them know that I'm not smoking, you are. So she got the idea. So every time when she wants cigarette 100s, although now she doesn't do that, she takes the same brand as my sister Stacy Smith uses. But anyway, but anyway, I would walk up to Teeny Giant, just now Gigo, and I'd hand the paper and they'd read it, and then they would get this, they would know it came from my mom and not me, and then I'd, like that. Every once in a while, I'd entertain them to one side of Hannah Magic. They got a kick out of it. And there were two lady cops, and I was doing the handcuff escape and all that. Lucky I had a chain, and they wrapped me around, and I was still able to get out of it. And they said, "Huh, we thought we wrapped you around real good." I said, "Well, I have a little secret to get out of it." And it was nice. It was a nice. It's nice that the police ladies kind of gave me a plug there. They were able to add more events to my escape routine, even in a store. So they kind of plugged me. I think it was Vic Bailey to give me those handcuffs because I was able to add it to the TCC Magic Show, Tidewater Community College Magic Show. The old TCC. There's I don't know what it is now. They got a new TCC, Tidewater Community College, over by where I used to get my food stamps, but now we don't do that no more. They got first they started with a Cardinal card, and now a debit card or whatever. But now I don't use that at all. I just use the SSI for my money now. But Stephen Brundy's version is pretty good. Someone could pick a color, say yellow, if they pick yellow, and I just show the cube mixed. And I said, watch as your color comes into view. Not only that, the whole cube's done. But see, if I combine it with the Decepticon, 3 people can pick a color on one cube, and it'd be solved on the 3rd time. That would be the icing on the cake, cherry on the top. I don't know how I'll be able to get that Decepticon pattern. It ain't like anybody's gonna do it, show me through email or whatever. Remember back in the day we used to share secrets through email, but we don't do, I guess we don't do that nowadays. Oh well. We used to do that in Google. Hey, I know this secret and I'll trade you for this secret. It's like the comic books. I'll trade you Spider-Man for Superman. We used to do that stuff. That was in the 70s, 80s. We used to do that stuff, trade back and forth. Tony, I never heard about that. I still got mine. You still got all your comic books? Yeah. And you got the original Rubik's Cube that came out in 1980? Yeah. You know, that'd be worth a lot of money. Bob Schofield and Robert Campbell and some others, and John Sloan, said they wish they kept theirs, they'd be worth a lot of money now. And Bob said if he laminated them, they'd be in mint condition. It's like these coins are slowly fading out, and it's going to be a cashless society. Like God said, when it becomes a cashless society, and one world government, and wars and rumors of wars, viruses and plagues, water not drinkable, food not drinkable, children will get smarter way earlier than ever before. Mankind can't hide anywhere. People will be lovers of themselves. People go to and fro. There'll be earthquakes in places never heard of before. You can't tell the seasons. You see all this coming into play? I mean, God knows what everything. He created everything. He sees all, knows all. He knows it all. Look what, look now. We got a 3-year-old girl who can solve a Rubik's cube. We got 360 cameras in the malls. We even got solar power 360 cameras in parking lots now, because they used to have them on top of the building, but to save money, they just got rid of the ones on the top and just put a 360 camera in parking lots, even at Lowe's, Home Depot, even Walmart now. And just recently at the CVC medicine place parking lot, and they put in cameras almost everywhere, and it says speed enforced by cameras, and then it was speed enforced by radar. Now it's speed enforced by aircraft, and we have flying drones, and even the news people, even though they use helicopters, they also use drones because they can get into areas that most people can't get to get the news, even more coverage. The Henry's children, Mike Rock said, while they were putting up the tent, they used a drone to get the footage, and the Wilds Christian Camp took a drone and filmed the whole area. I bet that'd be a nice idea. If someone did that for when we expand the church, have a drone to go all the way up in the air and watch the building expansion begin of Good News. 5-phase plan. We plan to do the garage part first, and I can't remember what we do next, but eventually we'll do the church. It's going to be 700 people upward. And Bob said, you remember it? How it looks at Christ for Home, we see Copperfield show? Yeah. And Norfolk, Virginia, it's going to look like that. I go, wow. But anyway, and then the fellowship hall, the fellowship hall we have now is probably going to be part of the church, added, because that would be interesting how all that plays out. And the church we're in now, that'll be the fellowship hall and a gymnasium combo, and food pantries with many fellowship halls in it. And the teens will have their recreation area, and the upstairs where the teens, boys and girls are in their Sunday school classes, the boys on one side and the girls on the others. Plus it's where the staff and the Pastor Asher and Pastor Brown, Pastor Tobin and John Radis, where you get the idea, and Kevin Brown, the Air Force Baptist Ministry. There was another guy, but God called him in another area, him and his wife. But so Kevin Brown took it over, and his wife Michelle. Anyway, and the youth director Jason Smith and Hannah Smith. Mark and Patty Taylor retired, but they're still part of the church helping out. And they're in the chapel area where Gene Sayre does the message. He used to do the jail ministry, and Bobby Story and Tommy Story used to help get the stuff ready for the jail ministry for him. Anyway, there was one guy working there, but God called him in another location. And eventually Gene, I don't know where the jail ministry, I don't know if they closed it up or what, but the nursing home, Bob Skoko still goes to that, and Gene Sayre helps out when he can. And Laura Cohorst is in Gene Sayre's class, said, "Hey Bob, you know when you say same about time, same about channel?" "Yeah." Gene Sayre said you do that at the nursing home. "Oh yeah. If I run out of time with them after we sing songs and do the message, I'd say, until next time, same bad time, same bad channel. And then Miss Story said, oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he mentioned that. Anyway, we're hoping that that new fellowship hall with the gymnasium, that the teens will use it as a soul winning tool, because the kids that like to play the basketball, that while we're in church, that just come to, there's a basketball court they like to play with while we're in church, and but when we get to the gymnasium, then if they come in there, our church teens can use it as a soul winning tool while they're playing basketball with them and witness to them. And youth director Mark Taylor said, we've been using Sweet Haven Baptist Church, one of our sister churches, gymnasium, so it's only fair if they need to use ours. They can use it. I said, yeah, no problem there. And Tommy said, that's a good idea. We plan to make a bigger parking lot and more room for handicap sections and more lighting area and a new entryway to make it more safer to go in, because the way where it's at now is kind of dangerous. And Dave Duncan had a close call, and Judy Schofield and some others. So they're going to move it away from the area, and the city's glad that we're on the same boat, so to speak, because they want to get rid of that area too. So it all works out, and it's good that everything is working out for God's glory. It's a big undertaking, but once we get it done, we can say God did it, because we didn't do it. Good News was founded in 1972. Pastor Dallas Angley, then Pastor Ward MacPalmer, then Pastor Walt Coles, and now Pastor Mike Asher. 50 years of Good News. Same bad time, same bad channel.